Most founders think they have a vision. What they actually have is a vague aspiration that dies the moment they leave the room. And here's the brutal part. If your team can't recite your vision, or worse, if you can't articulate in a way that makes someone want to climb in the boat with you, you don't have a vision. You have a dependency problem disguised as leadership. When you're gone, vacation, sabbatical, death, burnout, whatever, that dependency collapses. Your best people drift, your culture fragments, your organization stalls. I watched this happen in real time at a company I helped build to $5 million. The founder died. 12 months later, every employee was gone. Not because of bad strategy, not because of poor execution, because there was no vision to rally around when he wasn't there anymore. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to write a vision statement that isn't corporate BS. One your team can actually see, believe in, and stay loyal to even when you're not in the room. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, repeatable process to define your vision, mission, values, and the human element. The 4 cornerstones that hold your culture together when you're not there. Look, if you're watching this, you've probably built something real. You've got a capable team. You're making money. But deep down, you know, if you disappeared tomorrow, things would fall apart. Not because your people are incompetent, but because they're bound to you, not a future they can see and believe in. That's not their failure. That's a leadership architectural problem. And the good news? You can fix it. You just need the right process. In my last video, I told you about Tony, the founder of NetCentric Solutions. Smart guy, driven, loved by his team. Built a profitable MSP from scratch. But when he died suddenly at 36, the company collapsed in 12 months. Not because of bad people or poor systems, because we never built the invisible architecture that holds a company together when the founder is gone. I was there. I was the COO, and I didn't push hard enough to fix it. Today I'm going to show you what we should have built and how you can build it before it's too late. Point number 1, your mission is not your vision. And confusing the two is how great businesses stay stuck. Most founders use vision and mission interchangeably. That's a deadly mistake. Vision is the destination. It's what the world looks like if you succeed. It's external, something people outside your head can see and want to be part of. Mission is the march. It's what you do every single day to get there. It's focused, repeatable, measurable. Think about Magellan. He didn't get funded by saying, I'm going to sail around and look for stuff. He said, there's a shorter route to the spice trades. We're going to find it, and you're going to get rich. That's a vision, an enticing picture, a compelling story. The kind of thing that makes aristocrats open their coin purses and say, yeah, I want to be part of that. Tony's statement, create raving clients, was actually a solid mission. Clear, focused, everybody knew what it meant. If you weren't creating a raving client, you were off mission. But it wasn't a vision. There's no picture of the future, no North Star, no reason to stay on board when the seas get rough. And when Tony died, people said, creating raving clients for what? Where are we going? And they drifted. Here's the test. If your team can't tell someone at a cocktail party what your company is trying to become, not what you do, but what you're building toward, you don't have a vision, you have a to-do list. Vision gives meaning to the work. Mission is the work itself. You need both, but they're not the same thing. And here's what makes this even more critical. A vision isn't just something you keep in your head. That's where most founders go wrong. Point number 2. A vision isn't something you keep in your head. It's something you paint so vividly that other people can see it too. Vision is external. It's not about what you want, it's about what the world would look like when you succeed. It's a picture other people can see and want to be part of. Tony Hsieh at Zappos didn't say, we want to sell shoes online. He said, we're going to deliver happiness. That's a vision. It's aspirational. It's magnetic. It makes you want to work there. If you can't describe your vision in a way that makes someone say, yeah, I want to help you do that, it's not a vision, it's a vague intention. What makes it magnetic? Clarity. No jargon, no buzzwords. A 5th grader should be able to understand it. Emotion. It should make people feel something. Pride, excitement, purpose. Contrast. It should be clear what the world looks like without your vision. The before makes the after compelling. When I work with clients, I ask them, what does the world look like if you succeed? Most of them say things like, we're the best in our industry. That's not a vision, that's ego. A vision is, our clients sleep better at night because their IT doesn't break anymore. Now we're talking. Now I can see it. Now I know why you're doing this. And here's what happens when you get this right. Your vision becomes the anchor. It's the thing people hold on to when you're not there, when things get hard, when you're on vacation or building the next thing or not around anymore. But a vision without a mission is just a dream. You need the daily march that makes it real. Point number 3, Your mission is not what you hope to do someday, it's what you do every single day to make the vision real. Jim Collins talks about the 20-mile march in his book, Good to Great. The disciplined, consistent action that great companies take every single day, regardless of condition. Your mission is the march. Mission is not aspirational, it's operational. It's the thing you do today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Create raving clients. Everybody at NetCentric knew what that meant. If you weren't creating raving clients, you were off mission. Why it worked? It was simple. It was measurable. It was repeatable. Every employee could recite it. Every decision could be filtered through it. Why it wasn't enough? Without a vision, the mission felt like running in place. When Tony died, people said, create raving clients for what? And they drifted. Your mission should be a one-sentence filter for every decision your team makes. If it doesn't serve the mission, don't do it. Examples of good missions. Solve problems before clients know they exist. Make technology invisible. Turn chaos into clarity. The test? If your team can't use your mission to make a decision without you in the room, it's not clear enough. And here's the thing about both vision and mission. They're external. You can see them in action. You can measure them. You can tell when you're on track and off track. But there's an internal layer too. And if you don't get that right, the external stuff falls apart. Point number 4. If your values aren't written down and enforced, you don't have values, you have vibes. Peter Drucker said it best. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. And values are your immune system for your culture. They determine who gets in, who stays, who has to go. As a reminder from the last video, here's what happened at NetCentric. A client pulled our tech employee into a private room and grilled him. Why are you late? Do you think it's okay to be late? Should you keep your job? It shook him up bad. I take the issue to the service manager who says, I don't see a problem. I try to reason with him, sharing my view. But this guy doesn't hold the same things in value as I do. That's when I realized we had never defined what we stood for. So when something violated the internal code I was carrying in my head, nobody else recognized it as wrong. Values aren't about being nice. They're about defining who gets in, who doesn't, who stays, and who has to go. They're the filter, the compass, the line in the sand. You can't enforce what you haven't defined. And if your values are just integrity and teamwork, congratulations. You have the same values as every Fortune 500 company out there. They mean nothing. Your values should be specific enough to exclude people. If everyone agreed with your values, they're not values, they're platitudes. Example of real values. We protect our people even when clients complain. We hire for character, train for skills. We don't tolerate assholes, no matter how talented. The test? If you can't point to a decision you made because of your values, including firing someone or turning down a client, they're not real. Values are internal, but they must be explicit. And there's one more internal piece that most founders miss entirely. Point number 5. The human element is the most precious resource you have. And most founders hire for skills and hope for culture fit. The human element is the kind of person you want walking through your door every day. Not their resume, not their certifications. Who they are. Tony said, we want geeky people. We want techs that love to fix shit. Top of their game. And we built a hiring process around that. Every interview sheet had a box labeled geekiness. We hired one tech per week. We interviewed 10 to 15 candidates every week. We tested for personality, not just skill. Why it worked? Because we knew who we were looking for. We could say no to people who didn't fit, even if they were technically competent. Zappos says, we want weird people. That's the human element. It's specific, it excludes, it protects the culture. The mistake most founders make? They hire for skills and hope the person will fit in. That's backwards. Hire for fit, train for skill. Write down the kind of people you want. Be specific, be honest, then filter ruthlessly. Here's an example. We want people who take ownership without being asked. We want people who care more about solving the problem than being right. We want people who geek out on details. The test? If you can't describe the kind of person you don't want working for you, you haven't defined the human element. And here's the thing. Vision, mission, values, and the human element aren't separate pieces. They're a system. Miss one, and the whole thing can collapse when pressure is actually applied. Point number 6. Vision, mission, values, and the human element aren't separate. They're a system. Miss one, and the whole thing collapses. Vision and mission are external. You can see them in action. Values and the human element are internal. You carry them. Vision and values are beliefs. This is what we're building. This is what we stand for. Mission and the human element are behaviors. This is what we do. This is who we are. How they connect. Vision gives your people a future to believe in. Mission gives them a daily march to follow. Values give them a compass to navigate by. The human element gives them like-minded teammates who share the journey. What happens when you miss one? No vision? People work hard but don't know why. They drift when you're gone. No mission? People have energy but no focus. Chaos masquerading as hustle. No values? The wrong people stay, the right people burn out. No human element? You hire warm bodies and hope for the best. You get what you tolerate. At NetCentric, we got 2 out of the 4 right. Mission: create raving clients. Clear, focused, good. Human element: we hired geeky, certified techs. We were picky, good. Vision: didn't exist. Nobody could pull out the map when the storm hit. Values: unwritten, undefined. So when something violated my sense of right, nobody else saw it. Result: 2 out of 4. And when Tony died, the whole thing collapsed in 12 months. The lesson: you can't skip any of these. They're not nice to have. They're the load-bearing walls of your culture. So how do you actually build this? Point number 7. Here's the exact process I use with my clients to define vision, mission, values, and the human element. So they're not just words on a wall. Step 1. Start with the vision. Ask yourself, what does the world look like in 3, 5, 10 years if we succeed? Don't talk about your company, talk about the world. Bad: we want to be the best MSP in our region. Good: our clients sleep better at night because their IT doesn't break anymore. The Magellan Test: can you paint an enticing picture and tell a compelling story that makes someone say, yeah, I want to help you do that? So homework assignment number 1, you must paint an enticing picture and tell a compelling story of what the world would look like if your endeavor were to be successful. That will give you a vision that you can share that people will want to be part of. And don't be in a hurry. Sure, you need to come up with one that binds your people together, but in reality, you've likely been running without one for years. So take your time and get it right. I actually spent years working on mine. I would go walking on the beach with my wife and we'd be talking, and my mind would always wander off to the vision I was trying to put into the world. It went through drafts and versions and even testing, by sharing it with others just to see how it sounded and landed. By the way, my own vision? A solid fabric of small businesses around the world, woven together with good culture and true compass, and with a dedication to quality products and services. It's kind of big, I'm okay with that. Step 2, define the mission. Ask yourself, what do we do every single day to make the vision real? Keep it to 1 sentence, make it the filter for every decision. Examples: solve problems before clients know they exist. Create raving clients. Turn chaos into clarity. For the record, my mission is to take you and your business to the next level. It should naturally flow, and anyone hearing it as the next sentence after your vision will know they belong together. Step 3, write your values. Ask yourself, what do we stand for? What values will drive the mission and be true to the vision? What would make us fire a profitable client or a talented employee? Make them specific enough to exclude people. Write 3 to 5 values, no more. Examples: we protect our people even when clients complain. We hire for character, train for skills. We don't tolerate assholes, no matter how talented. And it really is okay to have single words like integrity or passion, but know this: if you're not willing to hire on them and fire on them, they're not values, they're just words. You'll know the next time you have a high-pressure situation and values are being tested. Do you look away and wince, or do you hold your head up and put your foot down? Step 4, define the human element. Ask yourself, what kind of person do we want walking through the door every day? What is it about this little fledgling team I have here that are rocking it that makes them get along and flow so well? And sometimes you do have to wait a bit for the human elements that your little fledgling team possess to be revealed before you can realize them and write them down. But be specific, be honest. Examples: we want geeky people who love to fix shit. We want people who take ownership without being asked. We want people who care more about solving the problem than being right. It's not uncommon that your human element statement supports your values. Let's look at knowledge as a value. We want people who know how to leverage knowledge over learning the hard way. Step 5, test it. Vision: does it pass the Magellan test? Can someone see the future you're painting? Mission: can your team use it to make a decision without you in the room? Values: can you point to a decision you made because of your values? Human element: can you describe the kind of person you do and don't want? Step 6, write it down and use it. Put it on your website, put it in your onboarding, put it in your performance reviews. Get tattoos. Maybe not tattoos. Use it to hire, use it to fire, use it to make decisions. Look, if you're watching this and thinking, Manny, this makes sense, but I don't know where to start. I get it. This isn't something you knock out in an afternoon. But here's the thing. If you don't build this, your business is fragile. and you're going to stay trapped as the person everyone depends on. If you want help building this, if you want a personalized roadmap for your organization, I work with founders and CEOs one-to-one to define their mission, vision, values, and human element, and then integrate it into their operations. Book a discovery call with me. Links in the description. Let's build something that lasts. Here's what we've covered. Vision is not mission. Vision is the destination. Mission is the march. Vision must be external, aspirational, and magnetic. Something people can see and want to be part of. Mission is the 20-mile march, the thing you do every day to make the vision real. Values are your immune system. They determine who stays and who goes. The human element is who we hire, not just what they do. The 4 cornerstones work together as a system. Miss one and it collapses. There's a process to build this, and it starts with the vision. Now you might be thinking, okay, I got the vision, mission, values, and the human element written down, but how do I actually integrate it into my operations? How do I make sure my team lives this every day? Good question. That's exactly what I'm going to cover in an upcoming video. How to build a culture that runs without you, the operating system your team needs. I'll show you how to take the 4 cornerstones and turn them into a system, ritual, and accountability structure that makes your culture self-sustaining. And if you don't want to wait for that video, or if you want a personalized roadmap for your business, book a discovery call with me. Links in the description.